Hi everyone, it's Wednesday, it's 5 o'clock, so welcome to my usual Wednesday live at 5, where I like to talk to you about things going on in the supermums world, as well as finding you. So today, as part of the series, I'm going to talk about finding growth, which is a really great topic to discuss today, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information on how you get started in a Salesforce career if that's your potential plans, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of the courses as well as that really important topic about finding your growth. When you consider that growth isn't about becoming someone different, it's about becoming more of what you already are. Whether you're feeling, I speak to people every day who say that they're feeling undervalued at work, they have no chance for career progression. So it's obviously a great time to be thinking about that growth there. If you're a mum, we train, as you know, mums, dads, teens at Supermums. So you don't just necessarily have to be a mum watching this, but if you are, you might be returning to work after having. I speak to people that have had long time to bring up their families, and now it's time for them to get back into a career. So I think if you have had time out, if you are feeling undervalued, if you have been made redundant, then absolutely this conversation is for you. I think it's important to understand that, I suppose, let's be honest, life does have seasons, as does jobs and careers. Careers can go through many chapters. And of course, confidence is another big word you hear me talk about a lot. Confidence comes and goes. You get the shift of up and down. Maybe you're in a space where your sparkle's dimmed. Again, something you hear me saying about. Or maybe you just feel invisible. And sometimes you think that, as I said already with redundancy, it can come out of nowhere. But just a reminder for you, you don't lose your value just because someone else didn't recognize it. So again, something to really be mindful of there. No job title, no manager, no company will define your worth. Only you can do that. Your sparkle is yours, and no one can dull it unless they've got the dimmer switch. And again, letting you dull your sparkle is something that I talk about a lot, and I think it's really important. I speak to people on a daily basis, as you know. I speak to many people who come to me and they have no idea, where to get started, what to do. And they say, Lynn, where do I even think about getting started? How do I grow when I'm feeling stuck? And let me tell you, one of the greatest opportunities for growth right now is tech skills that empower you, that not box you in. And I think it's really important to know that for me, that's where Salesforce came in for me, because I knew I already worked in a company previously that used Salesforce. So I was an end user. And again, that might resonate with you. You may be an end user currently. And I knew that I wanted to change my career. And it just seemed like a really great pathway, because being an end user, you will know if you love the functionality of Salesforce. And I haven't heard anyone that said that they don't. So Salesforce, whether you've been out of work, you're thinking about, as I said, pivoting your career, or you're simply ready to start something new and something more meaningful and exciting, it's got one of the most welcoming entry points. And again, you'll hear me say that. Salesforce itself, the Ohana, the family, Supermums is a community within a community. And genuinely, in all of my working career, and I know that you'll know I've had quite a long working career, I've never come across a community like it. Salesforce, I go into these events, into these meetings, and it's just such a buzz. You will find if you join that, you're going to get that really great buzz, and it's going to help towards your growth and towards your confidence, because they both come hand in hand. The great thing is, to start in a Salesforce career, you don't need a degree. You don't need to be techie. You don't need to have any tech experience. I have people that come to me from lots and lots of different backgrounds. To name a few, we had a florist, we've had an airline pilot, we've had people from NHS wanting to pivot their careers. We've had people from teaching industries. I mean, there are many, many different industries from many, many different areas of the world, relocating or still living in different parts of the world, because we do train people globally. So the foundational career, the foundation for your career, I should say, the starting point that I would recommend you look at is the Ultimate Admin course. Now, what that's going to give you is an understanding of the platform. Think of it like a gateway. It's going to teach you to be able to manage users, automating processes, creating efficiencies, learning the logic behind digital workflows. And these skills absolutely open doors for flexible remote work and high growth careers. And if you remember just now when I said that you're feeling undervalued, you have no chance for career progression, absolutely you do within a Salesforce career. So more importantly, it's going to give you back that growth and that confidence, because you see yourself learning something new, you feel yourself growing again, and of course in turn that is going to bring that confidence. So as I said, I speak to people every day who come to me and don't know where to get started. I am like everyone's proud mum, because I speak to you, I advise you on where to go. You take my advice, and I absolutely watch you. I watch your confidence grow. I watch you grow, and I see you getting your certifications, which we absolutely love to celebrate, and then go on to have an incredible career. So as you can imagine, I have the best job in the world. So I think if you are already working within a Salesforce career, if you are already a Salesforce administrator, Agentforce is a great route to take. And, whilst we offer other courses, and I'll go into them in a little bit more detail, every day something new and exciting is happening. So I think, from my side, every single day you get up and there's something new happens. So I'm going to talk now about Agentforce, because Agentforce is absolutely transforming the ecosystem. I mean, Salesforce themselves are forecasting an incredible number of new job roles. Something again that I get asked is, Lynn, how is AI taking over? There's not going to be any jobs, but consider this. Something that I saw, it was actually on a Dreamforce keynote, I think that's where I saw it. But something that really resonated, and I can't stop thinking about. AI driven, but human guided. So think about that. If you are a Salesforce admin, it's a great path for you to follow, because Agentforce brings AI into Salesforce roles. And obviously it's a chance for you to get in before everyone else does, because there's not enough people building agents as to what's being sold. So consider that. You've got to start. You've got to walk before you can run. Again, something that you'll hear me say. So you need to learn the system from the back end to the front end first. But once you get there, wow, the sky's the limit. And I really mean that for you. So in our Agent Force course, it's actually the Agent Force Bootcamp that we're doing. So have a look on the website, which is simply supermums.org. So you'll be able to have a look at that. And then you can look along the bar and it will give you all of the training options, which I'll go into in a little while. It will give you the career progressions. It gives you some really great success stories. So have a look at the website. But when you consider that Agent Force, it's not about replacing you. It's about giving you some superpowers. The superpowers would be to learn about automating task summaries, AI generated workflows, smart decision support, faster admin build times. And again, all of this you're going to learn, and it might mean nothing to you at the moment, but how great is it going to be to give this value to potential employers? They're going to be looking at your resume, at your CV, and they're going to be seeing that, you are the person that they want. Because imagine stepping into a new role and being able to say, I'm comfortable working with AI. I'm comfortable working with AI tools inside Agent Force, and I know how to leverage them. So if you're looking for a job within a Salesforce ecosystem, start out with your Ultimate Admin program and then move into Agent Force. As I said, some people will take a different diversion. They might go down the business analyst route. They might go down a project manager route. There are many paths that you can follow, but absolutely Agent Force is definitely something to consider. I will be putting together a nice, clear path, a timeline where you will follow the Ultimate Admin program. You will then do your work experience. And again, if you want to know more about that, just ask me and I'll be delighted to talk to you about it. You will then have your work experience. There is then what I call a reunion call where you all get back together after your training, after your work experience. And I want to say that's the 10th of September. And then you'll run straight into your Agent Force course, which will be straight after on the 14th of September. So great, nice year ahead of 2026, where you can absolutely propel your career to a whole new level. And I'd love to be there with you on your journey. So before I talk about the courses, just a little bit about you specifically. So talking about if you're feeling underestimated, or you're feeling like you've lost yourself somewhere along the way, and again, like I say, you will probably be finding that throughout life and throughout your journey of your career. I'm going to speak to you directly, specifically at the moment, and again, this might be something that resonates with you personally, but if you're coming back from mat leave, again, it's that scenario, isn't it? You come back after having time off and you no longer feel like the same person you did. And of course, growing within yourself is going to help you to get to that point again. You might be recovering from burnout. Again, I talk to a lot of people that just burnt themselves out and they just want to start again. So again, maternity leave, burnout, again, redundancy, if you are sat there now feeling that you've been made redundant and you are healing and genuinely healing, because it really is a horrible process for anyone to go through. Think about this. You'll come out the other side of it and you'll be so glad that it happened. You know, you might be still working, you might be sat in a job that undervalues you. And again, sometimes redundancy is almost a release from something that you were in that you weren't necessarily happy in, but you're forced into a corner and you actually have to take that step into a new career. But if you follow this journey, like I say, I'm sure that you won't be disappointed. So here's the truth. Your growth is not dependent on anyone else's opinion. You are allowed to reinvent yourself. So coming out of those bad bits and those bad times, reinvent yourself. Invest in yourself to reinvent you as a person. And again, that doesn't mean losing who you are. It just means progressing from where you were previously. You are allowed to desire more. You are allowed to shine again. And going back to that, you know, how I love people to shine. And the best part is growth doesn't require you to erase who you are, as I say. It simply invites you to meet the next version of yourself. And do you know how exciting if you look at things like that and you're feeling somehow undervalued? How great is it to stop and go, how exciting, this new version of myself is going to be bigger and better, and I'm going to grow, and I'm going to grow in confidence. So don't feel down on yourself, because you are so valuable, and don't let anybody else make you feel any different to that. So today we're talking about the growth mindset shift. So here's the shift that we're embracing today. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So you will have experienced your previous career, whatever industry vertical you were in previously. Everything you've done up to now has been preparing you for this point. You know, whether it's been previous roles, whether it's been managing your household, dealing with change, parenting, all of this makes you incredibly employable. And Salesforce skills will help you to package that into a brand new modern career. Just think about that for a second. Just think about how you may say to me, Lynn, I've got no project manager skills. I've never been a project manager. But if you've got teenagers, wow, you've definitely managed some projects. So I think sometimes think outside the box and think about the things you can do, not the things that you don't do or haven't done, because potentially, you know, you might have them in your skill set. So definitely things to think about. So a few pathways where you can go from here. So if you're new to Salesforce, you can start thinking about where I get started with your new career. And like I said, that Ultimate Admin program is a really great starting point. So have a little bit of a look at that. Have a look on the website. There is also on the website, if you go along to, I think it says resources. I'm pretty sure it says resources along the top bar there. There is some free sampling sets in there, so you can have a look at, you know, beginner's guides. I will just caveat that with, if you're planning to do this course in February, which is the very next course, and I'll give you some dates in a minute. We've got Black Friday this week, so don't miss out on that huge 20% discount. But absolutely have a look in there and just see if there's some resource that you can have a look at. But like I say, please don't miss out on that discount. If you want to go in a bit deeper, you might be looking at again, of course, you're going to be looking at this in a little bit more detail. You'll be doing your research, of course you will. But look at Agentforce enablement. Data Cloud Basics is another one to look at. And again, that will be really beneficial for you. Don't forget, you need to do Ultimate Admin. That is your focus if you have no understanding yet. But if you've already got your admin certification, look at Agentforce, look at Data Cloud. We've got Platform App Builder as well, which is an on-demand course that's not instructor-led, but something to look at. Service Cloud skills as well. There are some other things you can look at, but if you're looking at instructor-led courses, your starting point, and I know I keep saying it, but look at the Ultimate Admin course. It's the one I did before I ever worked here. Something else you'll also hear me say in terms of confidence building and building that, growth mindset is your own personal brand. Again, it's about inventing. I say reinventing, but you're inventing this reinvention, if you like, of the person that you are and of your previous knowledge and your transferable skills and your industry knowledge and all of that lovely stuff. And something just to add in there is, don't forget that Salesforce is the #1 CRM in the world, and it's used by over 90% of the Fortune 500. So there are thousands and thousands of global companies that use Salesforce. And again, if you take your industry knowledge and you find a company that uses Salesforce, you already have that great industry knowledge. And when you bring Salesforce into the mix and you're applying for roles, and then you're upskilling into Agentforce or consultancy, that's where you're going to really propel those interviews and really get some great interviews and really have some good stuff to add to your CV. So I'm going to tell you the dates actually of the next courses, and then I'll finish up. So the Ultimate Admin program, I'll just elaborate a little bit because we have a global audience. You can join one of 2 sessions. You only have 1 session every week, 1 live session, but you can either join a Tuesday morning at 9:30 or a Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. And a lot of our American friends and people that are working will likely do the evening session. A lot of companies will probably join the morning session because if you want your teams to join, you'll probably all do that together at work. So you can join one of 2 sessions. So hopefully they will work for you. And every session we do on any live instructor-led course is recorded. So even if you can't attend a live session, you join every 6 p.m. every Thursday, but you can't do next Thursday, you can watch the recording before you do your homework. So the admin and the essentials course will be week commencing the 16th of February. So it's surprising how quick that is going to go because we've all got so much to do between now and, the festive period. So you can sign up now, take advantage of the 20% discount, which is a huge discount, and, get yourself ready and get excited for that new year and new start. So week commencing the 16th of February will be either of those classes. If you are looking at the Accelerator program, which again is another admin course, that one is in January, and that is 3 weeks of full-on learning, but you can learn Salesforce in 3 weeks. So that one is week commencing the 26th of January. Again, for advice, come and see one of myself or one of the team, and we'll be able to advise you which one you should look at. But admin, whether you go for Ultimate, you go for Essentials, or you go for Accelerator, they are your starting point. They are your go-tos, and my recommendation is always Ultimate. We do also do the admin course in Spanish. So you can do the ultimate or the essentials admin course. And again, we have a team member that can talk you through that. And that one starts week commencing the 23rd of February. If you're looking at going down the Marketing Cloud route, if you are already in Marketing Cloud, or you are an email, you want to do email specialist, you probably want to have some Salesforce experience, or you want to have been a marketeer. So whereas most of the courses, I will suggest that you always do admin first, it's not really a prerequisite of Marketing Cloud. But again, ask me and I'll be able to advise you. But the next course, Marketing Cloud course, is week commencing the 26th of January. If you're looking at consultancy, now our consultancy course will include business analyst, which would be the Salesforce cert you would be aiming for, agile project management, change management, and NLP coaching. All of that are all wrapped up into one course. So if you want to go down the consultancy route, again, I would advise that you look at admin and you do the admin course prior. But if you're already at that point, then the course for you will start on the 12th of January 2026. We have also got an AI leadership course, if that's something you're looking at, which is very exciting. Don't have a date for that, but we will be able to give you that in due course. Again, just drop me a message and I can let you know as soon as that's out, hot off the press. Our next data cloud course, which you know I mentioned just now, is week commencing the 9th of March. We have an instructor-led Tableau course, week commencing the 5th of January. And our Agent Force course, which the Agent Force bootcamp that I mentioned to you, is week commencing the 19th of January. So a full packed year. And like I say, sometimes I would suggest to you when you talk to me, ignore the background noise, ignore everything that I've said today about other training courses, and just zone in and do that ultimate admin course. Get yourself started, and then we can talk about where it takes you. But just a closing message for today's Wednesday Live at 5. Never let anyone dull your sparkle. I mean, what more can I say to that? You are yourself an individual. You are a very, very important individual with some really great skills behind you. And paired up with Salesforce is where it's going to propel you. So let's just take a breath and listen. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to step from where you are now into your brand new career, your absolutely great brand new chapter. Redundancy is not the end. A career break is not a setback, and feeling undervalued isn't permanent. Please believe me when I say that. I absolutely love to watch people grow, and I love people growing in confidence. So for me, like I say, that, you know, it's all about, you know, where your next season of growth begins. And you don't have to lose yourself to grow. You grow by returning to yourself. Think about that. So if nothing else, this is my affirmation for the week. My sparkle is mine. My growth is mine, and my next chapter is waiting for me. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's session. I always enjoy having a session on a Wednesday. If anybody does have any questions, you are very welcome to pop them in the chat. If you don't have any questions right now, please come and find me. I am always here, and I'm always happy to help. So have a great week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Take care.